What is poppin' squad? It's your boy Jesimein, and welcome back to another Borderlands 3 build video. Now I know before you guys even hop in the comments and say, hey Jesimein, everybody runs flak, bro. Why are you making another flak? I'm just gonna show you guys how I use it because I want to go through all the characters just like everybody else. So if you haven't seen it, hopefully that I can show you something that you haven't came across YouTube already. So let's get into it. So first things first, obviously, flak is going to be damage based. He's going to be the NPC wiper. He's going to be the boss killer, however you want to look at it. He's all about damage. So I chose to opt for the Queen's Call. You can get this or the King's Call from the final boss fight, and it's not really too hard to get, but you can specifically get it from there. It's the only place you can get it. So if you don't have one, at least you can target farm for it. And my second weapon I use is going to be the speed loading Hellwalker, and I use this for mob base because even though flak is really good single target damage, he doesn't have no AoE or splash, so he can only pretty much focus in on target and wipe them. Having a shotgun that can spam is really good. So the concept is, since flak does so much damage while he's invisible and he gets ammo back in his magazine, it's really strong to use weapons that are designed to not have a lot of ammo and a lot of fire rate. And in this case, a revolver and a shotgun obviously reload a lot, especially Queen's Call, because it consumes 3 ammo per shot. As you saw in the intro, I was spamming Queen's Call, whereas with this, you have to shoot twice and then you have to reload. But being that when you go invisible, you get those guaranteed, or you get crits because you're able to focus, you don't have to worry about aggro. You get a chance at getting the ammo back in your magazine, which leads to some phenomenal DPS, as you guys saw as I wiped that boss. So going down into the shield, I use a survivor stopgap for obvious reasons, just to have good capacity. And I like the fact that you become immune to any damage taken for 5 seconds on shield break. That's just enough time to be able to try to escape, or to be able to have enough time to go invisible to survive, or to get some kills to get your health back up. So that's really, really cool. Grenade doesn't really matter. I just had the porcelain pipe bomb because it was busted. I don't use nades with flak. If I'm gonna use nades, you guys already know I have my Mo's builds for that, but you can use whatever nade that you want. Preferably you want to use something that's gonna if you have elemental boost or something you could throw at your feet to do more damage, that's definitely good. But in this case, I just have a Cryostone auto tool. It's pretty trash. I don't have a relic that I have found that I necessarily need with flak, but this one I just have it just the 15% max health. A god roll version for me would probably be one with some kind of damage on it with the max health, with like elemental boost or something, just so I can have more cryo damage when I'm shooting, and that could work out. I'm going to be using the Mongoose Shareware Deadeye. The reason I'm using this is because since my pet opts into my cooldown resistance when he gets a kill, I pretty much wanted something to have that. I'm trying to farm for a better version of this, but that's pretty much why I use it, because my pet is just as important to me, especially when I'm in situations that aren't just boss fights. You're in a boss fight for only so long anyways, and you want to be able to do most of the content like slaughterhouse and this stuff. Being that have that invisibility at will is going to be way stronger than just having it in a moment and putting all damage into it. You do enough damage as is, so I'm trying to find something to make my pet super OP, to be able to do a lot of damage so that I can get that cooldown reduction proc on my skills that I'll show you right now. So going to the skills, we'll start with the red tree because I have it up. For our interplanetary stalker, I'm not going to go in full detail on why I really spec'd into everything. You can pretty much go down through it yourself and pretty much see why necessarily, unless I come across something like this that takes an explanation on why. So leave no trace. The most important reason I have this is obviously to get the ammo back in my zine, because when I score a critical hit, there's a chance for 1 ammo to be added to the magazine with a 36% chance, which is a lot when you're spamming crits, right? When you're getting all crits while you're invisible on the weak spot of an enemy, you're pretty much going to have it back in your magazine at will, and it's ridiculous. So super important talent. Going down to head count, obviously, this is another important one because the action skill cooldown is reduced, which is ridiculously busted when your action skill cooldown is as OP as Flax is. Two Fang, extra projectile per shot, super good. And big game, we're gonna have 3. So I have 7 out of 5 because of my class mod. For the people who don't realize what that is, I'm going to be using fadeaway. Obviously, it's the strongest thing for flak. You can use other things. I'm going to try to mess around and see if I can make another build with the different ones. But to be honest, if you're looking for optimal, fadeaway is just the best. It's the most damage, and on top of that, it has an amazing utility where you can basically revive whoever you want. Pop that invisibility, go in, revive somebody, and save the day where you don't have to lose some money. Especially when raids or whatever comes around, this is going to be super important. Spec into that. You want to have Furious Attack 5 out of 5. You want to have Eager to Impress 4 out of 5. You want to have overclocked 5 out of 5. And this is super strong with the revolver because you get to spam it. But the thing is if your finger isn't as fast as it ends up being stronger than your physical hands can even manage. So going down to lick the wounds, my favorite skill ever, because bro, when you're playing solo and you go down and like an enemy is not around, it's the most aggravating thing in the world. This saves you from that because then your pet's like the beast and comes and revives you. And Flak's the only Vault Hunter that can really have a full solo build in all situations, because he has a freaking instant healer at him all the time, and the pets are super strong, so they stay alive a while. Turntail in 1, you want to have 3 out of 3. You want to have 5 out of 5 on Hitting Machine. You want to have 3 out of 3 on Fast and Furious. If you don't have the class mod, mine puts up to 5, so I even get more gun damage whenever I'm above half health. So this is super strong because this is a big chunk of gun damage that I get for free, and I'm gonna have the power inside 1 out of 1. Now I opted to go for the Gunslinger Jabber because I wanted him to have a weapon. I wanted him to be able to beam people too, just like his owner. So if you issue an attack command, it's an RPG. And on top of that, you get some crit damage on top and movement speed to get out of situations to be able to survive. So that's pretty much why I opted into it. I want to have Gorillas in the Mist because you stay in there longer. Dude, honestly, to be honest, I was torn in between even doing this before until I realized, like, dude, crits, just because you're getting guaranteed the first 3 crits on the normal, it's not as important when you can just spam the weak spot, be a little disciplined and just get all that damage. So you're gonna get a big chunk of damage, and you're gonna be in there, and you're pretty much invisible, so you have time to focus on that, which allows you just to spam like crazy. And you want to have Unblinking Eye, which is crazy because you get to stack up your damage when you're landing shots. So obviously that's just stacked on crazy amounts of damage, so you can see where you get the damage from. Now that's pretty much it. Like I said, I can definitely go into full detail on like which weapons are optimal and why they're optimal, but to be honest, as of right now in the current state of the game, as far as content, you don't need anything more than this on most situations. If it's a boss that necessarily is hard to get the crit hits, maybe, but for the most part, Flak really could just carry anything through the game. Like, there's a reason why my first video I was thinking he was the strongest overall. That's kind of changed, but as far as gunplay, no, Flak is still king of guns. If I were to compare him to my other, like my God mode build for Moze and stuff like that, Moze is more area based. Flak is like an assassin, right? Like, he's single target. Like he's a big bully to like Titans and Rampagers and freaking bosses. Like, he's the guy that doesn't necessarily worry about the tiny mobs. He just takes out those super annoying tanky targets and just like wipes them quick. So if you have a Flak and I feel like a Flak and a Moze by itself can just carry throughout the whole game. And if you have 2 Flaks and 2 Mozes, it's just GG, right? Right now, Zane and Amara are like underpowered compared to Flak and Moze. And it's for obvious reasons, right? Flak can just wipe a boss like that. So if you're into guns, if you like being able to switch through all your weapons and still have a fun time, Flak is going to be the go-to. This build's going to be a go-to because you can use any weapon. Yes, there are better weapons, like you're not going to be able to do as much damage with like a Lucian's Call or even like a Crossroad that you would do with a freaking Queen's Call or a Hellwalker. So obviously this is the more, if you're like farming, you just want to wipe, and this is like if you want to test guns that you like, you could put on any weapon and just spam those crits, and you might find something that might even be better, a combination that you can come across. But for me, really, Flak is like the gun master, so you can pretty much run anything, being that you run 4 weapons anyways. You can have your 2 little testers, and if you want to like go ham, you can do that in those situations. But like I said, to be real, there's no sugarcoating it. Right now, everything's overkill right now, right? Like, you don't really need that much damage, but why not have it, right? Everybody likes being overpowered in Borderlands, and people are going to keep that. So that's pretty much it, you guys. I'm going to go over the build one more time so you can see 5 out of 5, 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5, 1 out of 1, 3 out of 3, 5 out of 3, 5 out of 5, 1 of 1. You can pause it right here to see if you want just to spec it, like if you just want to copy and paste it. Right here, 3 out of 3, 1 out of 5. Once again, you can pause it if you like to. And 4 out of 5, 3 out of 3, 3 out of 3, 7 out of 5, and 3 out of 3. And you can also, obviously, once again, for the 3rd time, pause it. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Let me know what you guys think about the build. Let me know if you guys run this exact same build. I wouldn't be surprised. Or what would you tweak in my case? Like I said, I'm not a Flak main, so maybe there's a better combination, but this is pretty much the build setup that I go with whenever I do choose to run him. He's super fun, super powerful, and yeah, so been real. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for stopping by with your boy. Hit a subscribe if you're new, like and comment. Also, let me know what kind of build you guys want me to work on. I have a lot of gear and a lot of stuff I want to try, so hit me up. And if you have another flag build you guys want me to try out, hit me up in the comments. All you flag mains, I know there's a lot of you guys, drop it, because I'm really curious to see what else you could do with this character. Does anybody have a build? I guess I can ask y'all. Is there anybody that has a build that isn't reliant on crit that does something else amazing with this? Like, is there an OP pet build? I would love to know that. And like, what do you guys think is the best pet for Flak? So drop a like if you're a Flak main. Drop a like if you're enjoying Borderlands 3. And drop a like if you feeling your boy's content. I love y'all. It's been real. Your boy is out.